Every Wisconsin outdoorsman knows the adrenaline rush of hooking a big fish to the ice. Ice fishing can be a lot of fun, but it's so important that you do it right. A lot of people don't have a good time on the ice because they're uncomfortable, don't catch fish, or put themselves in dangerous situations. When you're on the ice, you want to focus on being comfortable and safe. To achieve these two goals, it's important to focus on your gear, your location, and how you set up your ice fishing stuff. Your most important gear while on the ice is your clothing. Clothing keeps you warm from the cold. According to an article written by the Wisconsin DNR, your warm clothes are vital to keeping you safe while on the ice. Warm clothes can prevent frostbite as well as freezing. I like to start off with 2 pairs of socks, pants, 2 to 3 shirts, as well as my jacket. Gloves and a hat are also very important and keep you safe. Boots are also very important because they keep your feet cold when they're touching the ice. Another optional thing is ice fishing bibs. These are expensive, but they're extremely warm, they float, and they're waterproof, which I highly recommend. Once you have warm clothing, your next step is to get your fishing equipment. The first thing is an ice fishing rod. It's a small rod that's meant for ice fishing next to a hole. The next thing you should have is a small box of baits. After you have your lures, you now want your auger. You can get a gas auger, electric auger, but I prefer the hand auger because it's light and easy to use. When your holes are drilled, there's slush in the hole. So this is a slusher, or hole scoop, and it enables you to get all the slush out of the hole. The next thing you're going to want is an ice fishing shack. An ice fishing shack keeps the wind and the cold outside and gives you a small house to fish inside. To keep your shack warm, you're going to want a heater. The heater keeps the inside of the shack warm and comfortable. A chair also helps your comfortability because it allows you something to sit on so you're not sitting on the cold ice. After your clothing and fishing gear is collected, it's now time to focus on safety. The most important equipment and gear while ice fishing is your safety equipment. The ice fishing chisel is a necessity. This allows you to check the ice as you're walking. Usually about 1 to 2 hits on the ice. If it goes through, that's not safe ice. According to the Minnesota DNR, ice under 4 inches is not safe and should be avoided at all costs. Another piece of safety equipment is ice picks. These usually go around your neck and are small pointy handles that when you fall on the ice, you can stab it into the ice and pull yourself out. The last piece of safety equipment is ice cleats. These are rubber bands that go around your boots and they have spikes in the bottom to prevent you from slipping on the slick and slippery ice. This has saved me multiple times from falling and potentially hurting myself. Your location is also an important factor while ice fishing because it allows for safer fishing and it allows you to catch more fish. Your first step of finding a good location is making sure the ice is safe. You want to find safe ice that is more than 4 inches thick, that has no open water or springs surrounding it. The next step is to find a good fishing spot. This can be humps, ridges, or depth changes in the water. According to MeatEater.com, a site dedicated to avid fishermen and hunters, is maps such as topographic maps, satellite maps, and nautical charts allow you to find these different depth changes that can hold fish. Once you've found a good location for ice fishing that's safe and has the right depth, you want to drill your holes a couple feet apart and check to see which depth you want to be at. Now that we drilled a hole here, we're going to use the Vexilar, otherwise you can use the depth finder to tell how deep it is. So it looks like this is a good spot to start fishing, and it's also on a flat piece of ice, so this is where we'll pop up the shack. After you found your spots and found the right depth, next you want to pop up your shack like so then you can keep the elements outside and inside you can stay nice and warm, especially when it's negatives like it is right now.
Yep.
Now that your shack is popped up, you want to screw your screws into the ice so we can tie this side down. You're going to want to tie the windiest side down first, and then after that you want to go in each corner from the windiest side to the least windy side, screwing it down. This allows less wind to go underneath and allows you to be warmer in your shack. Alright, so after you set up the shack and put the screws in, you're going to want to drill your holes. So we drilled our holes here, how we want them. And then we're going to take the scooper, which is right here. Like this. We already scooped them out, but you want to take the scooper, throw it on the outside flap of the shack so that the wind, it freezes down and the wind doesn't get underneath the shack. That's good. Now that the holes are drilled and the shack is set up, it's time to put your heater and your stuff inside the shack and start fishing. Having a good time on the ice depends on how comfortable you are and how good the fishing is. It's easy to have a great day on the ice as long as you bring the right gear, set up in the right spot, and set up your gear correctly. If you follow these steps and bring this gear, I guarantee you'll have a great time on the ice whilst being comfortable and still catching fish.